I hope they can hear
Good thing
us.
we weren't doing goofy things.
Yeah. So I'm on this video intro screen, but I think they can still hear us. Okay. So
I have to refresh.
Well, it said start streaming, and now it's not. Streaming. Okay, so now it's on. Okay, so now it's on. So now we should be able to find...
New computer, new stuff, so...
Now we should be able to find us on... Yeah. So now we should be able to... Okay, they can hear us. Now we should be able to find us on... Yeah. So now we should be able... Okay, they can hear us. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm here. Oh, I got to turn my volume off. All right. So we're here. We're kind of here. So we're doing our Bakealong, and I thought I did the Halloween one at home on this new computer, and I didn't. And the new computer is the one that was causing me all kinds of issues. Then I got my old computer back, but we're at my mom's house. So anyways, here we are. Mom, do you want to say hi?
Hi. Where am I?
Okay, there I am. So we're here.
It's a crazy day. We haven't burned the house down. That's a good thing.
So anyways, let's go down to the table. All right.
I'm trying to find you on YouTube.
Okay. So my mom is still finding us. So this is what we are making tonight. We are making pepperoni bread, which I made one earlier, and we're making overnight French toast, which I also made that earlier. And I don't even know what I'm saying.
I don't either. So, I'm so confused right now, Sarah.
So, well, you're just going...
I'm trying to get it big on making.
Okay. So I'm going to move this one out of the way, and I'm going to put hot pads on because I just actually took it out of the oven. So this is the pepperoni bread. And let's put this in.
Actually, I think things are going to be upside down, but it's okay.
What? Yes, I am upside down.
Yeah, I know. I see it.
Did somebody else say that?
No, I said
you
it.
said that. Okay. So we're going to start with the pepperoni bread, and I'm just going to start with the ingredients. Okay, so for ingredients, you need a loaf of the... Well, first I'm going to wash my hands because I've been farting around. So I'm off to the side.
Oh, that's... The hand soap is over on the other side.
I'm washing my hands with dish soap. That's okay.
It's okay. It's done. It's good for wildlife, and you're part of wildlife, so...
It cleans your dishes, so it's good enough for my hands.
Yes, MJ, we are upside down. Not unusual. We kind of live our life upside down sometimes. It's okay. So, we're not even going to try and fix it because...
Well, I might.
Oh, Sarah's going to try and get it fixed. All right. While you do that, I will try and go to...
So I'm...
YouTube.
There, right in the middle is where I have to be. Okay, so now I think I'm not upside down.
I don't see one.
So
the testing for Bakealong, is that still the same ones?
No, you should find us now. So anyways, you need the Roadies bread dough. Mine is thawed. And this is kind of experimental because I actually had this one in the freezer for a long time. So it just doesn't rise as much, but it does work. So Roadies bread dough.
It says test for Bakealong.
So I need to just change the. I'll change the description after we're done. Roadies bread dough.
All right.
Hormel or whatever kind of pepperoni.
You should see the big pepperoni I brought.
Yeah, my mom got big pepperonis. I use mozzarella cheese. One package, my mom uses both mozzarella and Swiss, so it really doesn't matter. Parsley flakes.
You can't use it, but look at that sucker.
Yeah, my mom is using the big ones. So then you don't have to put as many down. So she said I can't use it because she's making her own. So there you go. But that's okay. So parsley flakes, which I'm putting off to the side. Italian seasoning, which you need 1 teaspoon. Grated Parmesan cheese, a 1/2 cup. Ground black pepper. And garlic powder. I had a huge container of it that I was almost out of, so I saved a little jar and I put it in that. So this used to say chili powder, but it is now garlic powder. So
maybe it's garlicky chili powder.
Anyways, some of you last year or the year before got our hot off the ice cookbook, which the recipe is in there. We don't have any more of these. These were a fundraiser, I don't know, 10 or more years ago when my daughter was ice skating. So some of you have that, and there is...
oh, you changed it, sir. We are right side up now.
I'm also interning.
Oh, okay.
So it's weird. But anyways, in the cookbook, it actually forgets to give you one step. I mean, it has the ingredients all in there, but it forgets to tell you where to use the Parmesan cheese. So I guess that's our way of keeping this recipe secret by not putting all the directions in the recipe.
That way her brother can't get too upset.
Yeah, my brothers are probably mad that I'm sharing this. I say that every year. So anyways, first you have your bread dough. Mine, because it is a little bit older, it was a little bit dried out. And it just doesn't raise as much, so it's fine. But anyways, you need to roll this to about 12 by 18. I do start out with a rolling pin. And then after that, then I do go, and Dodge is here. This is his first time at my mom's house, I think.
I think so, too.
Or did he come with Jake and Ev once?
No. Well, maybe he did when I wasn't here.
Oh, well, anyways, so Dodge came in and he was a little bit freaked out. I actually had to put him on a leash to get him in the house. So I roll it out a little ways.
I have a map that actually tells you how big it is, sir.
I know, but I don't like rolling on.
Okay.
We tried that last year.
Okay. Right.
I'm a creature of habit.
Okay.
And I'm a go for it kind of gal, so I don't really care whether it's 12 by 18.
Kathleen Ressler Moore says, let's raise more money. I would love a book. Unfortunately, they're out of print, I think. Right? So,
Yeah.
Can't get any more. Those of you that have it, thank you.
So, yeah, those we did as, I think, door prizes. There's, I wonder if the publishing company still has record of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a curious question.
It is. So, if they do, Sarah, hi, Brian.
Oh, Brian's on?
Yep, Brian's on.
Becky might be on too.
Becky, are you there too?
So, Brian and Becky, I will have your pepperoni bread for you.
We're making it right now.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something before we started. I rolled my dough out before I mixed my other ingredients.
Oh,
so that's okay. I'm just going to mix them right on top of my dough.
Okay.
Because it's with a clean bowl, so
yeah,
it's fine. 2 eggs. That's the other thing that you need is 2 eggs.
So I'm the one that suggested the breakfast dish tonight, and Sarah just now sprung it on me and said, well, I'm going to show them how to cook the pepperoni bread, and you can demonstrate the overnight French toast.
That's what we do every year. I do one and you do one. You've done the fudge. You did the quiche last year.
I know. So I haven't made that overnight French toast since at least 5 years, but I'll get into it.
So 1 egg gets beat up.
I'm going to go look at those instructions.
They're right here, Mom.
Thank you.
So I just figured that was a given.
Is it all cut into slices already?
No.
Okay.
I can cut them into slices, and then you can take over.
Okay.
Okay. So we have our beaten egg. We need a 1/2 cup. And yes, I am working on my dough right now. I usually do this part first. a little bit flustered by the whole
computer
thing. Because you know what? We were testing it, and we didn't have any sound, and it just wasn't playing. And I just said nuts to it. Let's just test it on Facebook. Maybe
we really do have
maybe we really do have sound, and it's just not playing back on the computer. And that is exactly what happened. So, but I was almost going to run to work, which is a 12-minute ride there and a 12-minute ride back, and get my old computer disconnected, which I don't like to do because when I disconnect that computer, it, stuff happens.
Yeah.
So a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, 2 tablespoons parsley flakes. So yeah, Brian and Becky, or Brian, if you're in town, I should have 2 loaves. I'll have 2 loaves in the freezer, and you can pick it up and drop one off on Becky's. Otherwise, you guys are gonna wait till you get back.
Oh my goodness! I wonder if I have all that stuff so that I can make it.
So,
otherwise,
1 teaspoon of, so it was 2 tablespoons of parsley flakes, 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and then it says 1/8 of a teaspoon, I believe, of garlic powder and pepper. I always use 1/4 of a teaspoon.
Some like it hot.
So just because I do, and you can alter stuff if you. So garlic powder and black pepper. It says 1/8, but I use more like 1/4.
Hello to everyone on YouTube with us tonight too. I see several people. Emily is on. And Marion Phillips is on. Thank you for joining us over here.
Yep, we were a little late getting on. But that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, there's 8 people watching on YouTube. But I don't know who else, so everyone's welcome.
So my mom, which her trick was to add like a tablespoon or 2 of water to this just to thin it out so it spreads easier. So I'm going to do that. And not measured, I'm just doing a
couple of glubs.
A couple of glubs. Yes. Maybe a little bit more glub. So hang on. Just to thin it out because it makes it easier for
spreading.
So, and I always used to spread it with my hands, and then I actually think here we used a spoon. So I brought a little spatula. So that goes onto there. And yeah, I usually use my hands until I started doing it here with my mom. So I've got just a little spatula. If you want to use your hands, you knock your socks off.
Josh is on. Oh!
Josh is on.
Josh, yeah.
Oh.
Such a great recipe. I love this dish. We do too, Josh. I'm glad you like it.
Oh, so that means he made it to Madison.
Yes.
Josh was driving to Madison today, so that means he made it to Madison. And Josh, you can have a loaf too for when you go up north for New Year's Eve to share with your friends.
Mona's here too. Yay, Mona.
All right, so that was our Parmesan cheese, our parsley, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and black pepper, and a beat up egg. And then we add a couple glubs of water just to thin it out so it spreads easier. And then we have our sliced mozzarella cheese. My mom uses half Swiss, half mozzarella, but I'm just using mozzarella. I've done other things. I've done pepper jack cheese. I've done roast beef and Swiss.
Oh, yeah, that's good too.
Mm-hmm.
How much snow did we get? We got about 2 inches, I think. It's still snowing lately, Kathleen.
I'm going to actually go home after this and shovel my driveway.
Mm. That's what I like about condo living. Oh, shoveling. No shoveling.
Shoveling is good exercise. That's why I'm looking at it.
It's overrated.
So I laid my
I like dancing for my exercise.
I laid my mozzarella cheese down. Now I'm doing my pepperoni. Throw this thing out. This is a do not eat. So Leah's husband, works for a pizza company, and they have those in their pizzas or the pizza crusts. And a customer actually thought it was a spice pack.
Oh, what?
I thought it was a spice pack.
Oh my God, did they use it?
I don't know. I know John's told the story.
Oh my word.
So, anyways, pepperoni. Sometimes I'll have extra pepperoni out of this package depending on how big I roll my thing. So I do carry over. Like I usually, when I'm making 10 to 15 loaves, I'll buy 1 or 2 less pepperoni packages just because I usually have a few left out of every one, so I can make another loaf or 2. So unless Dodge is sitting here, which
he is salivating all over the
sitting
place.
here, so I am going to have to share a pepperoni with him. He's a pretty good catcher, so pepperoni he catches no problem.
So I like using the big ones. Your dad used the big pepperonis after a while too, because it takes less time.
It does take less time, but I don't mind. So, although now that usually Josh and Leah are my ones that come up and will grab a little on the corners of my dough after I get it rolled out. They like pull a little thing off, and then my rectangle isn't a rectangle anymore. And then we have Dodge, who is sitting here begging for pepperonis. So everybody likes to sneak a little taste while I'm making pepperoni bread. Leah will help me because she usually needs 8 to 10 loaves. So she'll usually come over and be my mixer-upper of the ingredients. So if you're making, usually I'll make at least 5 to 10 at a time, except for today where I did one earlier and I'm doing one now.
When Carol was pregnant with the triplets, Bogey went down and helped Dave and Carol make pepperoni bread for the first time. Yeah. And when Bogey got there, I didn't go along, but Bogey went, and they didn't have all the ingredients. And Carol said, "That's okay, I'll go." So that was in November, and Carol's like ready to deliver any day, 3 babies. And she went to the store. I said, "Bogey, you let her go to the store? That pregnant?"
Well,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Would you mind going to the store and just getting some things?
I am going to use all my pepperonis. Except I ate a couple. And Dodge had 3 of them.
Yes.
So now you're going to roll it up. So roll it this way. And it can be a little bit tricky. So I'll start on the end and I'll kind of push my little end. And it will tend to unroll as you're going. So you just roll from side to side, roll it up just a little bit, and it'll unroll. But I attach it at the end. I'll give it a little push, and then I'll go back the other way.
So you're making kind of like a long log right now.
Yep.
And then we'll make it into a jelly roll.
Yep. So, and last year we did 2 of them, and we showed where you could bake one as this long log, because then you can cut it like into little pinwheel shapes, and it makes a nice appetizer that way too. So now you'll see that my dough is a little dried out on one side. And that's okay.
You have the recipe posted on your Facebook page. I know you showed it on a Thursday night.
Yes. I didn't post the recipe.
One time we did. So.
We did. Yeah. We did like the last few years. We posted it after we were done.
So we'll go get that and we'll
share it again
later.
Yeah. So yeah, it was posted the last 2 years, and I think we just either copied and pasted or did something. So anyways, so you roll it up like this log first, and like I said, you can bake it like this if you want to. Put your seam down. And then you can just cut it like this as little pinwheels. So, but we are going to go ahead and roll it this way. And so it kind of becomes this big like cinnamon roll.
Yeah. Pepperoni roll.
Make sure all your stuff is tucked in. And then on this side, as much as you can, and you can take like an egg wash, but try and pull that.
But we used to tuck it under.
Did he tuck it under?
We played around with that for a lot of years.
Yeah. The longer it sits, like usually if you bake it right away, it's fine. But usually I'll do 3 and I'll bake 3 at a time. Now my mom and my brothers, I don't know if my older brother does. No, I'm just saying that you guys rotate your loaves through the oven.
Yes.
I put 3 in, bake them, take them out, put 3 more in, bake them, take them out.
When we were doing 90 in a day, it was like, you better just keep rotating them all the time.
Where when Leah and I do it, we while they're baking, we do like Christmas candy or pretzel things. We do other little project type things at the same time.
So we started baking this in the 70s. This was the 70s recipe. So 50 years we've been doing
Now this does say an 8 or 9 inch pan, and I do like my stone, although I do have a really old time, 2 really old time cake pans that were great grandma's or yours.
Or mine. Yeah, I think they were mine because I don't have those anymore. So
But I just remembered them from way back in the day.
Sometimes I use a glass pie.
Yeah, this one I cooked.
I think I gave the kids each.
This one I cooked in there. Otherwise, I do have 2 metal ones. You gave us all metal ones. So now we are going to take another egg, and I'm just rinsing out the bowl that I already used. Where when I'm making a whole bunch of them, I just have 2 bowls, one designated for each job.
Yeah, we did too. We used
I have
measuring cups, 2-cup measuring cup and a 1-cup measuring cup.
So I have another egg, and I'm just making an egg wash. So I'm beating my egg. And now I have to remember that your oven cooks hotter than mine.
Mm-hmm.
So my oven at home, I'll set for, the directions say, does it say 350 or 375?
I have no clue. I have no clue.
Okay, I think it actually says 375. I turned the oven on to 350, but I think it's 375. I'm going to leave your oven at 350 because your oven runs hot.
Okay.
So
didn't we set it originally at 375?
We did, and then I turned it down because I was just having a brain fart that it was 350. But I really think if I looked in that hot off the ice cookbook that it's 375. But at home, I'll do 40 minutes. The directions say 30 to 35 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so I added about 2 tablespoons of water. Again, just a couple gloves to make an egg wash. And then I need paper towel.
Oh, here. Paper towel is back there.
So, since hers cooks hot, I am going to just leave it at 350.
Okay. Maybe yours just cooks.
I think mine cooks cold. Yeah. Yeah. But yours is new and mine is older, so maybe it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to dump that over the top.
How would I know mine? I don't use my oven, you know.
I just remember last year when we did it, I set it for what I normally cook it at, and then it was pretty toasty. Mm-hmm. So
the only time I use the oven is when I have to cook some breaded shrimp, frozen breaded shrimp.
So now we're going to take our Italian seasoning and just sprinkle it over the top. And we're also going to remember to set the timer.
Yeah, you can set the timer on the microwave if you want.
Yeah. I actually might turn it up to 365.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh my God. So I'm doing like my card making where I just kind of go with it. So I am going to stick this in the oven. So now that is basically the pepperoni bread. So my done one is right here. I mean, we'll pull it out because we'll do the other recipe, and we'll probably have time to pull it out of the oven. Sometimes it does bake over, so sometimes I'll put tin foil in the bottom of my oven.
I have tinfoil on the bottom of my oven. Good. Oh, man.
Because other stuff is baked over. So anyways, we are going to go on, and I'm going to cut the bread for my mom for the overnight French toast.
Overnight French toast. This is pretty interesting because we used to make this all the time. This was one of our signature dishes for our bed and breakfast, and then it became a signature dish for our restaurant on the riverfront.
Yeah. So this is just a small pan of overnight French toast because I didn't want 2 huge pans.
Yeah. So you need another one.
So I do have another one.
Oh,
another pan. Yep, I've got it. So I'm going to cut the bread.
All right.
And it says cut it in 1-inch things. And now it said day old. So this one is day old, but I didn't think I had enough, so I went and bought another one. So it's not as day old as the... So I'm going to cut the bread for my mom. And the directions say to generously butter the pan, but I'm assuming you can just use Pam.
We can use this one instead. You got a rectangular one there that you brought to make it in?
Yeah. But
I'll make it in here.
Okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, it says to generously butter, but can you just use Pam to spray it, Mom?
Well, I don't know. Never Pam. I buttered it all the time.
Okay, well, she's buttering it. So, do you have butter?
I do have butter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just
surprised what's in my refrigerator. And what is not in my refrigerator, I usually have a space in my refrigerator for things that I want to throw out. But I haven't had time to throw them out, so I have a corner all.
All right, so I'm cutting the bread for her, and then she will get going. She's buttering the pan, so she's just using butter and buttering the pan. Now Dodge thinks he needs some of this also.
Dodge is hearing all of this.
I'm pretty sure.
Smelling all of this.
I'm pretty sure that we've got enough bread, so you can't see him, but Dodge sit.
This butter is pretty hard, so Sarah, I'm going to let you do that while
Okay. Well, you do the rest.
Well, I do the rest. That's right.
Okay. So I'm putting that off to the side.
What the heck did I do with the rest? I see it.
And I've got all the ingredients back here for you. I'm going to beat her
Vanna.
Oh.
Dodge, you're right in the way. You're right in the way.
I'll take
dog.
him.
He's a big dog. He stands like 30 inches tall.
Oh, and we are, it says, Dodge, can you move?
Good boy. Good boy. He gets squeezed out, aren't you?
I'll take him.
All right. I'm going to use that paper towing. So, Josh, I told your mother that she couldn't tell you this, but now that you're online, I will tell you this. I made a peppermint bark cheesecake for when? Did I make that for? I don't know what I made it for. Oh, I made it to take to the studio for a dance party. So this was quite an adventure for me to make that because I was looking for my springform pan and I couldn't find it. And then I realized I'd given it to Josh, which was wonderful. I'm glad you have it, Josh. I called your mother and said, do you know where that is? She said, yeah, it's in the stuff in the garage and I'm not getting it. So I went out and I got another one.
I did say that.
Oh, you did say that?
I did say that.
Yeah, you did say that. Okay, so we're going to start this. Sarah, is this upside down? I know.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, just like that.
Okay, so Sarah cut up that bread, and then we're going to use 6 large eggs.
They're right behind you.
All right. we're going to beat these up. This is not my most favorite egg beater, but we'll use it. 6 large eggs.
Oh, how long do you bake it for? Hang on, the question came up for how long do you bake the pepperoni bread for? The recipe actually says 375 for 30 to 35 minutes. At my oven at home, I do it for 40 if I'm just doing one. If I'm doing 3, I do them for about probably 50 minutes because you have 3 of them in there. Yeah. But like in my mom's oven, her oven cooks much hotter than mine, or my oven cooks cold. So kind of look at your...
watch your bread.
Just watch it. Now, can I just show something really quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. When I'm using my glass pan, I hold it up above my head and I can see that it's brown down there and my dough is not raw. So it's really hard to see if you're using not a glass pan. So yeah, just kind of look at the top and make sure it's nicely browned.
Okay.
But you'll kind of learn that how your oven cooks as you go. So good question.
I could make this in my sleep when we had our bed and breakfast. We had that from 1980. 88 we opened. We actually bought that house in 1982 and did some renovation in it, things that you couldn't see, and then finally moved in 1985 and then opened the bed and breakfast in 1988, and we had that bed and breakfast going for the better share of the next 12 years. It was absolutely a wonderful experience. So I'm just going to beat up these eggs a little bit. Sometimes I will beat them with an electric mixer, but today I'm just going to whisk them a little bit and see if I can get these beaten up. And then we're going to add 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of mace. Mace is part of the nutmeg plant. So you're going to have a really nutmeggy thing, but I like that mace. It's a little bit stronger. And then a teaspoon of vanilla. And Sarah brought vanilla, but I am going to get out my homemade vanilla. So my homemade vanilla, if you haven't made homemade vanilla, give it a whirl.
Down closer to the table there.
I'm sorry?
So people could read it.
Okay. So to make this, you reuse vanilla beans, or we started with fresh vanilla beans. Fill the bottle with vodka and let it sit for 12 weeks. So there's a trick to some of this because you want to use a good vodka, and you also want to use a good bean. There are different grades of vanilla beans, so I don't have all of that information handy. Sarah saw this bottle of vodka in my pantry and she said, "Mom, what are you doing with vodka in your pantry? You don't even drink." I said, "I know, but that was given to me. Tammy, if you're watching tonight, this is a recipe that you gave me, and I love this vanilla. It is amazing." So we're going to start with 1/8 teaspoon of...
I don't have an 1/8.
Oh, you don't have an 1/8. All right.
I always just go heavy. I kind of cook like I carb make. I wing it.
Yeah. So
a lot.
1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. Sarah's got some nutmeg here for me. She brought everything from home tonight because she wasn't sure what I had. And it's amazing what I do have. And besides that, if I have it, she didn't know whether, you know what, I'm just going to shake it in here. There.
I guess you cook like I carb bake too.
Yeah, I do, for sure. So that was our nutmeg, 1/8 teaspoon. I think it was probably more like a 1/4 to a half.
Yeah, that's why I have my 1/4 inch.
and 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. You have cinnamon.
That the top comes off, yeah.
Okay. I couldn't get that top off of that other one, so that's why I did that. So a quarter of a teaspoon, is that what I said? A quarter of a teaspoon of cinnamon. That looks like a quarter of a teaspoon. You're right. I do. That's usually the way I bake. So a pinch of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Where am I? I'm reading this upside down. So
you're on the mace.
Mace. All right. Mace, my favorite. I just can't get enough of the mace. I won't put as much in because I put all that extra nutmeg in already, didn't I? And then a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to use that homemade vanilla. You can reuse those beans if you're doing a lot of baking. I don't do a whole lot of baking anymore. I used to when I had the bed and breakfast. Or when I had the cafe. And 2 cups of half and half. You brought some? Yes.
I did, but you're gonna put it in a measuring cup or fill it up because that is 2 cups, but I used some of it.
All right.
So you're gonna supplement some whole milk for whatever I'm short of half and half.
Okay. All right. You can do that.
Yep. Oh, put it. There you go.
So that and the milk, right? Oh, I know. I have some heavy cream in here. I only need 2 tablespoons of heavy cream.
Oh. See how you can just, if you don't have 2 cups of half and half, you just mix the half and half with some more milk or some heavy cream.
Yeah.
Because we're short by about a half a cup.
Can you get that open for me?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I opened the wrong end. That's why.
Oh, sure, fine. So that's a cup, so you'll be left with your 2 tablespoons.
Okay.
So there.
That's good.
Yep.
Oh, I love this kitchen. Your dad would love this kitchen. So where do we leave off here?
Now you need 1 cup of whole milk.
A cup of whole milk on top of that?
Yep.
All right. This is going to bake over in this dish. I know it.
Well, that's why I brought my bigger dish.
That's all right. This is one we used to make it in all the time for the bed and breakfast. And at the restaurant, I used to make it with berries in it. So that recipe that Sarah showed online earlier.
It's right in front of them.
It's right in front of you. Oh, it does say that on there, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you've got that bread cut, and you've got the pan buttered for me. That's great.
Yep.
I'm going to turn this around so I don't have to read it upside down. All right. So you got that bread. Oh, and we actually used to make these a little bit thicker. Let me just stuff these in here. And so if we were putting berries in here, you would put those berries in after the first layer. Just kind of smudge that down. And then I'm going to put more bread on top of that. Hopefully this will all fit.
Well, whatever doesn't fit.
We'll give to the dog.
Or the deer.
Or the deer. Sarah's got deer outside her house and a big buck, right?
Yeah, like a 10-pointer.
Oh my gosh.
Walked through a couple times.
So that we were having a discussion at her shop the other day about how they shed their antlers every year and then grow them back. The question was, how can they get big when they shed them every year? I'm not going to put that in. I think I put a little bit right in here. All right. So now we're going to pour the mixture over the top. And we're going to bake this, Sarah.
Well, you're actually going to let it sit overnight.
Yes, you are going to let it sit overnight. I'm going to let it sit overnight tonight.
Yeah, but you can show how to make the topping.
All right. I have an apron on. I got an apron out for Sarah, but Sarah didn't put the apron on. She said, nobody's going to see that I have an apron on anyway. The apron that I have
on.
Well,
it's because I have a Christmas shirt on.
Yes,
but nobody saw my Christmas shirt either.
Yeah. So they didn't see that either. So the apron that I have on, actually, our two oldest granddaughters baked with us when they were younger, like 5 and 6 and 7. And we have pictures of them wearing these aprons. So that's a fun memory. All right. So it's going to sit overnight. We're going to put a little saran wrap over the top of this and let this soak up really good. And tomorrow morning I'll pull it out of the oven and I will let it actually sit we'll pull it out of the refrigerator and we'll let it sit on the cupboard for about an hour before we cook it. That way it's not going from cold to hot right away. And we'll put the mixture, the topping on tomorrow morning also, but we'll mix that up today. It's here. So.
Yeah, I was little. I was looking for the saran wrap. Yeah, okay. And then I can take it and put it in the fridge.
Okay. I have another one too. That's a fresh one. It's probably nicer than I gave you.
Oh well.
All right, so now we're going to make the topping. And I am going to use that same 2-cup measurement to do that. This is a favorite recipe also. So there were some things that were used a lot at the bed and breakfast. And we took those recipes and adapted them for use in our large baking pans, half sheets and full sheet pans in the restaurant. And so I have recipes that we tested and worked with the measurements. And if you need to bake in something bigger, let me know because I have those recipes. Did we make the strata one year, Sarah?
No, we haven't done that.
We haven't done the strata. Well, that's another favorite. All right. I do have a pretty Christmas color. All right, so to make the topping, we're going to use half a cup of butter. Did you put that butter there?
It's right behind you.
Oh, you brought one. It's all nice and soft. So we're using a half a stick of butter that's been softened already. And
Virginia's asking for the while you're doing that, I'm just going to show this.
Oh, yes. You can actually go online and find those recipes for the homemade vanilla.
Yeah. So it says what? Go
and
ahead.
You can also make homemade vanilla paste. If you're making homemade vanilla paste, you can use your homemade vanilla to make vanilla paste, and that just takes a little bit of thickener, and I can't remember what that's called, but go online and you can look up homemade vanilla paste, which is a little something that I used when I was making my cheesecake 2 weeks ago. So now I've got my...
So hang on one second. I'm just going to read that out loud.
Okay.
It said reuse the vanilla beans. So this is this thing right here. Reuse the vanilla beans. Fill the bottle with vodka and let it sit for 12 weeks. Give it a shake every once in a while. So it's basically vanilla beans and vodka, and then you're just letting it sit for 12 weeks.
Yeah. Smell it, Sarah. Open it up and smell it and taste it if you want.
The vodka or the... No. No, I'm just kidding. Wow, that smells awesome.
It is. It is awesome. So I have the butter and 1 cup of brown sugar. Sarah measured that out for me earlier. She probably did that at home, huh?
No, I didn't. I did it here.
You did it here. All
Yeah,
right.
and it can be either light brown sugar or dark brown sugar.
What was that today?
That's a 9x9 pan, right, Mom?
Yes.
Yes, it's a 9x9 pan. Brian's asking. Maybe he's going to make that.
All right. So we're just going to mix this up, and we're going to make it to a crumbly consistency.
Oh, I did mine different then. I heated it.
You heated it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I heated it so then it was less work.
Oh.
And it spread over the top really nice.
Oh, well,
So
I never did that.
Yeah, I just did it in the microwave for a minute just to...
Well, I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it's super easy.
I want to see how that does.
And then the did you do the Kiro syrup already or the?
No, I didn't do
Okay.
that yet.
Okay.
I just wanted to get that heated up.
Yeah.
I never thought about doing that.
Yeah.
And I usually made this topping in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So which tomorrow morning you could just, I mean, you could have it all mixed up tonight, and then tomorrow morning just heat it for another 30 seconds to soften it. And...
So, in my bed and breakfast, I had one guest who was a trustee at Lawrence University, which is a private college here in Appleton. Very well regarded university. And so this, that is juicy.
Yep. Makes this really easy then.
So that man usually stayed in the downstairs bedroom, right off the kitchen. And he would come out into my kitchen when I was doing things, and I can hardly walk and chew gum. So when he came and sat in my kitchen and wanted to talk while I was finishing up my breakfast, it drove me a little crazy. One time, he came after Christmas, and it was a cold, foggy January morning. 2 tablespoons?
Two tablespoons of dark corn syrup, right, Mom?
Yes. 2 tablespoons of dark corn syrup. Anyway, he came after our Christmas break, and I had help during Christmas in my bed and breakfast, a young gal who was in high school at the time. And when I would strip a bed after someone was there, I would make up the bed, at least pull the quilts up and had the shammed pillows over the top of the unmade pillows in the unmade bed. But it looked nice. It looked like it was a made-up bed in case somebody came to look at it. Well, my high school gal.
And she's adding a cup of chopped nuts.
Yes. My high school, and what kind of nuts are these, Sarah?
Pecans.
Pecans, all right. Pecans or walnuts?
Pecans.
Okay.
The whole thing.
My high school gal didn't make the bed. She put the linens away. And so when he came, he slept in bed without any sheets on it.
Oh.
And the next morning he got up and he had breakfast, and he was the only guest in the inn that day. And when he left to go to his meetings, I had breakfast with him. When he left to go to his meetings, I went in to make his bed because he was staying for 2 or 3 nights. And I realized that he made the bed. And I thought, well, and I don't like to remake a bed once somebody has made it. So, but I noticed that he had 2 quilts on the bed. And I thought, well, that's odd. So I went to pull the quilt back, and as I did that, I realized that there were no sheets on the bed.
Okay.
And I thought, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. So Bogey came. We only had one car at the time. Bogey came to pick me up, and I said, "You won't believe I found the best way to save money at the inn. You just don't put sheets on the bed." And he said, "Sue, how could you do that?" And I said, "Well, Wendy was helping me, and I thought she'd made the bed." And so when he got, I made the bed. I put sheets on the bed. I went back to the office. I called his wife, and I said, "Have you talked to your husband today?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Well, before he comes home tomorrow, would you please do me a favor? Would you short sheet your bed for you so that he doesn't think that it's abnormal to not have sheets on a bed?" And she thought that was the funniest thing in the world. And she laughed. So when he got up the next morning and had breakfast, he came out, he put his keys down on the counter, and he said, "There are your keys. You can't accuse me of not taking of not turning my keys in afterwards," because he did that quite often too. He'd drive off with the keys and then bring them back the next time. There is your topping. And tomorrow morning, we're just going to put this right over the top. I'm going to warm it up a little more, and we're going to put it right over the top. Sarah, is that right? What you did? Okay, great. So it's not crumbly. It's soft.
It just did spread right over the top. Okay. So the done looks like that. And so yeah, I just spread it over the top and then baked it.
It's so good. It's like sticky buns. People think this is sticky buns, and it's not sticky buns.
So, I mean, I would still put syrup with it. I don't know if people put syrup with it, but I would still put a little bit of syrup with it.
That works too.
So
that works too. Anyway, he came out, he put the keys down, and I said, "Well, listen, before you leave, I have one more thing. I want you to back your car out of the garage and spring open your trunk, and I'm looking for the missing sheets." And he said, "I didn't even notice, Sue." And I said, yeah, right, you didn't notice. If you'd been at the best hotel in the world, you'd have gone right to housekeeping and asked for sheets. But you didn't, the gentleman that you are.
So, anyways, thanks for joining us tonight. Let's see. Computer camera. There we are. So thanks for joining us tonight for our Bakealong. Merry Christmas. Hopefully everybody has a safe and fun family or holiday with family or whoever you want to spend Christmas with. Just as long as you enjoy it and
make memories.
Yes. Memories. Amen. So we will see you next week, Thursday, the day after Christmas. So anyways, enjoy the holidays, everyone.